awesome. I got 2 points I want to ask you to dive a little bit deeper on. So one's a very common question that I get, and I think a lot of dads get. So you mentioned the judges, and you get a judge who's been on the bench for 20 years, 30 years. Like they basically planted roots, and they struggle to adjust. What can an individual do to effectively navigate that? Because in a lot of states, once they make an order, you're kind of stuck unless there's some misconduct.
Well, yes, absolutely. And custody decisions are, and as attorneys, we can talk this language, and I'm sure a lot of other people don't understand it, but custody decisions are reviewed on an abuse of discretion standard. So basically, you have to show that the judge was so far out in left field, so to speak, that absolutely nothing, he should have never done what he did. And I have appealed custody decisions, and I've wrote appellate appeals, and there's some of them I've won, and some of them I've not been able to budge anybody on. But, you know, the judges have really, really broad discretion. So you need to know the judge, and hopefully you have an attorney who has some experience with the judge, or the attorney themselves have some type of reputation that precedes them into the courtroom. So I kind of course, started at the place where I just had to experiment with judges and get to know them. And, you know, I give judges, I treat judges like people instead of like some kind of statue that's just sitting up there to intake information, and try to observe them and watch their behavior and their conduct and their comments. And, you know, one of the things I tell clients who are testifying, I say, when you're on the stand and you're testifying, you keep your eyes on me and watch everything I say to you, and listen very carefully, because I'm promising you that I am watching you, the judge, the court reporter, the opposing party, and the opposing counsel. And I have my eyes on all of those people. And if I see a judge is maybe getting, you know, judges, they're not very good poker players. So sometimes they get a funky look on their face, or they're not even listening at all. You know, they're like making notes, or they've leaned over to talk to the clerk. I mean, you have to be very keen on what's going on. And I say, look, if I ask you the same question twice, don't think I'm trying to necessarily get a different answer, because I want your answers to be consistent. But the reason I'm asking you that is because the judge either wasn't paying attention or was looking away. And if you give me an answer and I prod you to go further with that, there's a reason that I'm doing that. So your attorney has to understand the judge. And, you know, I now, having had done this for 27 years, I pretty much have a reputation that precedes me, and at least a third of the counties in Tennessee. So, you know, the judges know I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to know the law. I'm going to have all my exhibits. I'm going to have all my evidence. My clients is going to be as prepared as I can make them. So knowing your judge and how your judge is going to play into this is very important. And I will say that also includes, because there are some counties where what we call, and I don't know if this has happened to you yet, Mark, but we call it you get home cooked. When you walk into a county that's maybe 2 counties away, and there's a local attorney there, and he plays golf with the judge. And, you know, so you have to be very, very tuned in to the relationships of the other attorneys with the judges as well. And that's just the reality of it.
Yeah, no, I have not personally experienced that. I happen to be in one of the most densely populated areas of the country, being out here in Southern California. So there's multiple courthouses. There are some courthouses have 24 judges in them. But I have definitely seen where you get to the small rural counties, especially up north out here in California, and it's 1 judge, 2 judges, and they know all the other attorneys, and they like some, they don't like others, and you can be in a really tough spot.
Mm-hmm. And you have to be very brave. And I kind of like rural counties. I mean, I work in metropolitan Nashville, which is about, I don't know, I guess it's a little over 1 million now. And then in my county, which is probably about 250,000, just south of Davidson County. And I like that metropolitan feel, but I also like a lot of the small counties. And so, I mean, I go into those courtrooms with a presumption that the judge is going to have a certain level of favoritism. And let's just start from, that's just my starting point. And then you have to work around that, and, you know, just be extremely prepared when you walk in.
Yeah, definitely.